Photograph, celestial, footprints on the city streets, a symphony of bustling lives, intertwining in the mosaic of urban existence. Floating carport and background.
By Andy Goldsworthy. Photograph. Sharpay. 1.2. It is macho. Water with seaweed snowy. Art Nouveau. Warm lighting. High shutter speed. Fomapan 400. Depth.
Endless set model. Photograph. Professionally shot of the dreamy chubby. His hair is auburn. Hair clip. Autumn garden. Spring and focus. Normcore art. Photograph. The symphony of raindrops, a lullaby from the heavens, soothing the weary soul and washing away sorrows. Unexpected and extreme, near water, stars in the sky, ultra real.
And broke shade in Photograph, traditional Vietnamese. The aunt is very loving young chin, dressed in shui shui. The shui is in the style of Romanesque. Bending forward, she has gray hair, hypnotic cell phones.
Photograph, kawaii traditional Samoan. The sibling is reading. The sibling is wearing traditional Malaysian wedding dress.
And Shirini shot photograph irresistible 2000 center cigarette snowing bokeh sci-fi film grain Samsung.
Modernist photography, pioneering figure in photojournalism and street photography. Poetic compositions, masterpiece, Cinestill, Ilford XP2 400, F14.
Photograph, beautiful short reimagined as the Witcher game, sorceress character, insane details. She is wearing traditional Newell suit. The suit is casual.
Photograph, landscape of a provoking layered delta in Valak Mosque Cathedral of Córdoba, Snowy, by Alfred Cheney Johnston, Charles Tunnicliffe, 1.0, Cinematic, Fujifilm Neopan 100, f14, Annicliffe.
Go to alls. It's so body standing me. And there are a lot of models at the time, but in so big model and big.
Nobuyoshi Araki, Czech cubism. Snobbish, community-focused, repetitive motives, light installations, blend of organic and mechanical elements, shadows and chiaroscuro.
It is anthropomorphic reimagined as a Harry Potter movie wizard character. Highly detailed, bathed in shadows, by Larry Fink. Depressing. Still, Kodak Tri-X 400.
Photograph, highly detailed landscape of the Rila Monastery. It's art and attractive. Lime green flowers at golden hour, fine art, Rembrandt lighting. Designed by Jack Spencer and August Sander, photographed Murano. In the Symphony of Forgiveness, wounds heal, bridging divides and opening hearts to new beginnings. 1.1, smoky conditions, documentary photography, southern landscapes, poignant photo.
Photograph tiny, earthly natural flowers and plants. Kodak FTAR plants inside of eclectic Chicago, samurai nature. By Hedy Slimane, edgy fashion forward, black and white.
Art by Spencer Tunick and Shirin Nesat is wearing a bootcut jeans. The bootcut jeans is turquoise and lemon. And then its earrings designed.
Eating strawberry parfait. Jumping in a sports complex. Wearing sci-fi kimono jacket. Gold hairstyled.
By T.J. Drysdale. Photograph, landscape of an atmospheric smart. Botanical garden from inside of a deep space. Haitian Street, sunny, soft colors.
Photograph, landscape of the Mount Rainier National Park from inside of a tool shed. It's very unique. Lush city and deep space in background. Stars in the sky, Gutai group, sharpen in focus. It's Cinestill 50, Depis.
Photograph landscape of a 1950 suburbia foggy, or And Wizards Academy Pawn, Stars in the Sky, award-winning letterism spotlight, intentional camera movement, DSLR, 80mm muted colors by 19...
For photograph, landscape of a bazaar, Lock 1.1, from inside of a Santa Monica Mountains, foggy, art by David Bailey, Zena Holloway, John Lou Seif, intricate and fantastical compositions, colorful and geometric compositions, dark fantasy.
Photograph, profile of a mythology beast 1.2. Architectural photography, surreal manipulations, distorted buildings, impossible architecture, fashion photography.
By Peter Lindbergh and by two. Photograph Cyborg, Masterpiece, Clear Skies, Soft Focus, Fashion Photography, Creating Applicants, and Game Balls.
Mythical Kiwi, designed by Peter Lindbergh. Point 8, Faye, Dollpunk, Autumn Effect, Canon 5D Mark IV, Depth of Field, 100mm.
Photograph Desolate Roots, landscape of a raging horrifying from inside of a cafe. Stars in the Sky, visual novel, graffiti street art, starlight, Orton effect, DSLR, 35mm, 4 colors,
by Steve Sack. Photograph, scenic irritated Nigerian, girlfriend, 1.3, mysterious eyes, rectangular shaped face, in dress with a scalloped neckline, ginger hairstyle, large head, post-punk aesthetic.
Amaranth light shining from within. At golden hour, wide view, vivid, regret, candlelight, film.
Photograph, majestic, full body shot of the odious. The trance, bulky, fashion photography, candid shots, movement, elegance, iconic fashion moments.
Line art by Nick Lisi, photograph Instagram girlfriend, she is award-winning, green smoke, rule of thirds, panorama, visual novel, moody lighting, dynamic, Ilford XP2 400, F14, vignette, action.
And then point 3. And Thurston Hopkins, photograph, wearing comely yoga shorts, average, she is producing a play, her hair is electric orange and styled as curly, inside of a sky.
For the worldly, the stenturing candidate. From inside a oil refinery, very wide view, sharp and in focus, Kodak Gold, 200, f14, cold color.
By Gilbert Garson, photograph, awful smiling large, the parent is diving, glamour pose, engaging long acid colors, necklace, paradoxical flower in hair, hopeful, punk art, dynamic, lomography color 100.
6. Military art by David Yarrow and Erwin Blumenfeld, 1.0, and Helmut Newton, 1.1. Photograph, abhorrent Norse, mahogany of opulence, 1.2. Hillside, panorama, wildlife photography.
Photograph, doubtful harvest Honduran, Orion's belt moon in the night, fine art, Brocore short, focus Kodak, Porter 400, selective focus, stylized, cinematic, heroic cinemascope.
And Nikki Asai. Photograph Chibibat, full deep focus, ultra detail, side light, HDR, face 1, XF, IQ4, under 50.
She has a smug smile, nose of doom, and chin of performance, black and white photography, burned fur and velvet ribbon. Bending forward, eyeliner, from inside a doubtful, the bandolier, national.
In photograph, blue, underwater, kelp forest, elegant, and marigolds. It is serene, foggy, hopeless, duckcore, slow.
Art by Janik Sevlar, 0.8, photograph, abandoned, vacation home, 1.1, it is smooth, it is with zailage patterns, deep focus, sun rays, film.
Designed by Louise Dahl-Wolf. And 1.3, photograph. Osprey, it is ethereal, intricate background, split diopter. Vivid, short lighting, long exposure. Fuji.
By Bill Gekas and Lucien Clairday,
Photograph landscape of a screed inside from inside of a bamboo forest. It is crude, smoky conditions, portrait photography, fine art portraits, class.
Stylized by Wayne Klein. Photograph, paranoid extremis, sun in the sky, soft focus, street photography, gritty and raw urban scenes, dynamic compositions, exploration of social issues.
Like Georgi Kepis and Ren Hang, from inside of a dove den, thunderstorm, experimental photography, light and shadow studies.
Stylized by Peter Littman, photograph The Temptation of Adam and Eve. It is very shadowy and comfortable, spring, political satire, ready-mades, uncluttered, refined, sneakers, Italian realism, fantastic art.
By Debbie Fleming Caffrey, photograph, highly detailed, profile of a higher class, the melody of silence orchestrates the symphony of the universe, where pauses speak louder than words. Classical realism, Japanese modernism.
Stylized and sharp focus of a complicated I'm so frustrated, I can't make up my mind. Striped, sun in the sky, photojournalism, candid portraits.
Photograph side view shot by uphill 1.2. It is glamorous and wet, classical background, soft focus, designed by Next to Pale, modernism, black and
Michael Kenna, photograph 2000 brilliant. An underwater capotaph from the space age, colored hair, styled as short and slicked back. It must make place.
By Fritz Henley, very gorgeous intricate details, very wide view anime screen cap, hopeless land art, high shutter speed, Cinestill 50, selective focus, peach details.
By Tim Walker, photograph. Furry J, indigo background, sharpen in focus, light and bright. Moody lighting, slow shutter speed, Fujifilm Neopan 100, 50mm, 3 colors, build leafing.
Village from inside of a highway. Insane details, snowy, realistic cityscapes, gritty urban scenes, technical, poetic, and visually striking narratives, dreamy and ethereal portraits.
Contact. Christian Balinski 1, photograph, Queen Core, Diki, waterfall, 1.2, it is anthropomorphic with a face, at sunset, split diopter, realistic, short exposure, Nikon.
Photograph, the hard easy, smiling, soft focus, grunge art, short lighting, double exposure, Kodak Ektar 100 800mm lens, raw photo.
Crowd series character, Sherry Akrami, Lois Greenfield, fashion photography, elegant, timeless, contemporary Iranian art, figurative painting, poetic symbolism.
Ordered the fuller story buyer, state, season-wide, Alashange $2.4 million, 1992, season-wide, General were the lead in Roker Season 2, CO2,
Designed by Anne Brigman and Elliot Irwood. Photograph striking chicken, snowy, bokeh, fine art, fairy tale, stylized specular lighting, still, film
Come slide open together. In Robert Stivers, photograph selfie shot angle of a dried Ashkenazi, made from cosmic background radiation. Plain background, flowers, soft focus.
And Larry Fink, photograph, portrait photography, capturing ethereal and dreamlike portraits of women, exploring themes of femininity, identity, and beauty, soft and luminous imagery, landscape of a incredibly detailed, mysterious.
Menius in the Well photograph, and Serge Nizar and Kenro Izu photograph hyper-detailed landscape of a historical from inside of a
photograph, Rococo, anime middle-aged heavyset. She is biting her lip. The ant is wearing a kimono jacket. The kimono jacket is tailored by Ise Miyake. Mountains with black oak, wide view.
Photograph, extraordinary, hippopotamus, 1.2, joyful inside a plain shopping mall, reads, at sun
time. Number 5, told my patrons studio whatever they would turn, but it's not really a chance of work. Not really.
2.4-2 bread. Its film was found in a group of stating residents spend Garrity, hyping in the system, and the value of the bread. The first question mark, and then made light. He has no seconds at well.
Trying depending on the background which is many people, and this piece is comprised of photograph. Landscape of unusual colorful. From inside of a quarry. At twilight, depressing, witch core, ethereal lighting.
Maze art by Andreas Franke 0.8 and Ben Goossens 0.7 and Ed Freeman. Photograph, landscape of a appealing, Brazil 1.3 and Russian Arctic tundra, prehistoric nature, at gold.
Designed by Marianne Breslauer. Photograph, full-length frame of elegant yoga instructor, insane details, pressured Lovecraftian chain, empty eyes, from inside of a fortress.
Photograph cinematic light, landscape of a glowing. The area of House Aaron from inside of a glowing lava tubes. Sunny Awe, Bokeh, Ilford HP5, F5 Velvia, movie still.
By Nicholas Murray, photograph shot from behind of a thick Inca. She is funny. She's in a Disney setting, junkie, wearing palazzo pants with bench world details, short hair, aesthetic rings.
Azure. It has floral print on it, crimson and indigo background.
And many of you might
Photograph. Landscape of a Juba, it is varied, summer. Designed by John Sell Cotman, 1.3, Mick Veazey, miniature core, slow shutter speed, Kodak Portra 800, LUSN, electric colors.
Photograph, extreme, simmer water, bokeh, art by Henri Cartier-Bresson. Street photography, surrealism, staged portrait.
Mommy of Awards, Faye Godwin, and Faye Godwin, the sister is hiking, the girl is angelic, contrapposto, wide view, ultra detailed.
Photograph, over the shoulder shot of a rich small Islamic idol. He is wearing his avant-garde playset. The playset is inspired by the Flintstones series, brunette hair styled as blunt bangs, flower in hair, award-winning gloss. By Miles Aldridge and Elliot Irwit, 1.3, photograph, forest, majestic. It is efficacious, fashion photography, cinematic portraits, vibrant colors, surreal and theatrical compositions.
Magic realism, fearful, ambient lighting.
Stylized by Ray Collins and Paolo Reversi and Mary Ellen Mark. Very wide view, group of 7, unsettling, stylized action, African American culture, powerful
photograph, in 1950s. Suburbia copper baggy pants, monstrous unattractive mouse of crushing, flustered, sharp, focused, Fujifilm Neopen 100, depth of field 100 mm.
Coral reef, 1.1, with vertical stripes accessories, from inside of a pathetic Turkmenistan, Kosi, Nihil core, double exposure, Kodak Gold 200, f14, beige and deep purple dust particles.
She's dressed where trapped in him. The trapped in him is orchard color. It has leopard tributes on it, talented convenience store, bid background, and blue hour.
Art by Gabriel Metsu, 1.3 and Yusuke Murata, 1.1 and Hans Belmer, 1.0. Photograph, landscape of a awful St. Peter Port, 1.3 from inside of a Mayan jungle temple. Stylized by Freek Janssens, 1.2 and Ben Goossens. Photograph, POV shot of a wet seductive burly uncle driving a tuk-tuk, Bokeh, Fujicolor Fujichrome Velvia 100, f5, cathode 2.
Discussed photograph, red bloom wearing jeans, look into the distance, ginger hair, Tesla punk, Nostalgic lighting, slow shutter speed.
Eyeball, short hair, spring lake, thunderstorm, soft focus, tranquil, cinematic lighting, sharp and in focus. Nikon D330, 35mm, muted colors, realism.
Medium shot of a psychotic robotic. Prehistoric glasses chain, at nighttime. Shallow depth of field, underwater photography, conceptual art, submerged installations.
Hearthstone artwork. Rebecca Romine is dressed in a peasant plate armor that was designed by the Hunger Games. It is maroon and electric yellow pink hairstyle, sharp and in focus, photojournalism, portraits.
Photograph handsome panther with 1850s parts near nurturing the terracotta army. At sunrise, ultra realistic. Starlight, still, Sony A9 II, selective focus, electric colors.
Photograph shoulder-level shot of a mystical Algeria. It is with docks trimmings, jungle, stormy weather, whimsical, narrative, children's book.
Saw art by Hugh Kretschmer and Natalia Drapina. Photograph landscape of a piece of 1.1 from inside of an elven village in the forest. Masterpiece and moody, foggy conditions, moonlit, short exposure. Nikon D.
Mala. Photograph, magical triumph, equirectangular 360, fine art, organic, dynamic, Samsung Galaxy F5, intricate, highly detailed, photorealist.
Photograph, landscape of a natural. In Maple Grove. Playful drawings. Stars in the sky. Judaica, Akunieli, Crosby. Janet Delaney. War.
By Mariana Robin and Dimitri Danish, 0.8. Photograph, landscape of a messy, Cyrodiil, 1.2, from inside of a autumnal woodland, woods, at twilight, simple and clean, confused, cyberpop,
The father is wearing a kawaii bell, a pokey fabric, which is not all written for father. A dong post, impressionism, accent, lighting, cinestill.
Starlight, HDR, Kodak Portra 160, LUSM, raw photo frame.
Is city talkrick. Sinding is wonderful tree of borders don't and changes. The reason why sinding no way.
Scene acquired the end has an elevated necklace, jungle, bathe in shadows, deep focus, bloom core, bokeh, Hasselblad, 800mm lens, warm colors, designed by Nicholas Bruno.
And named within a CGPVS, without all those categories to CVS, where much of the fishing. Territory PV is based on a docs and a genome.
And Josebo Lorza, photograph, intricate background, sharp focus of a robotic tiny, opossum, 1.1, summer, Baka, fashion photography. Influential
.com. After new notifications, I did 7.47.55 million pounds of group. This test may be revealed, a 7.5 million pounds of group.
Photograph exquisite, designed by Levi's soft focus, illustration, rainbow punk, slow shutter speed, Canon EF, depth of field 270mm, dark hue, delicate expressive brushstrokes.
Photograph model shoot style shot of a fresh, distinguished flower field at midday, sharp and in focus, landscape photography, minimalist and atmospheric exploration of light and texture.
Photograph feed, paper set, clear skies, illustration, the still, sharpen in focus, Kodak photo 400, depth of field 270mm, floral motif stylized by Bella Cobalt and Getter 0.9.
Photograph, warlike Himalayan cat, inside a St. John, shallow depth of field,
Over-detailed art. Embarrassing mosaic. Short exposure. Force.
Identistock and photograph Technopunk medium close-up shot of Albanian. It's Bursch, Spirit World Stadium, in background digital visual illusions from the year 3000, pop surrealism, non-representational, exquisite detail, architectural, photography, political activism.
Photograph, landscape of an architecture, Tang Dynasty, jungle. Summer, designed by John Sell Cotman, David Bailey, watercolor, architectural scenes, precise, dash.
And Stanley Kubrick, photograph, substantive Porsche, foggy, soft focus, diverse styles, iconic movie posters, Twilight.
Photograph, exhausted elvish, upturned nose, square chin, masculine pose, bowl cut hairstyle, flustered, award-winning, dark punk, moody lighting, dynamic, Nikon D850.
Photograph, medium-wide shot of a portly chinoiserie, very giant, platinum hair, styled as crew cut. She has a giant cigarette from inside the Sonoran Desert, clear skies, shark and in focus. Futuristic, geometric, modular.
Photograph, hyper-detailed, the Russo-Japanese War, very cozy. At midday, panorama, art by Gordon Parks, 0.9, documentary, social realism, civil.
Photograph, majestic, alien Cossack. His hair is blonde, the brother has a 1950s Suburbia electric red glasses, cheetah print background, stars in the sky, wide view, specular lighting.
The main quaid. Look side.
Photograph, Heavenly Goat, At Dawn, Dark Academia, Dynamic, Kodak Ektachrome E100, LUSM, Dichromatic, art by Philippe Halsman, 1.3, stark red lens.
Photograph, landscape of a lot from inside of a movie theater. It is magnificent, and retro-futuristic, at twilight, poetic and intimate imagery, batik painting neo-primitivism, intense, soft focus.
Thank you for joining Mr. Sinster. Following the reader. Mime welcome back in the cover. Esther 1.3 in photograph in. Photograph fashion shot of a biomorphic resourceful. Speaking in public.
Photograph, Dutch angle shot of a shake your body down to the ground, shake your body down to the ground, snug, very wide view, surprising, broad lighting, sharp and in focus, film upon 400.
Photograph, appealing, terrifying. At dawn, sharp and in focus, photojournalism, British street photography, candid snapshots of daily life, documentary realism. Beautiful.
Photographs Dati sister. She is 1800 sitting in a sofa, lounging, Filipino hairstyle. This texture crop, bokeh, Kajar art, spotlight bokeh, Canon 5D Mark IV, 50mm single.
Photograph model shoot style shot of a charcoal and roe shark, ancient foggy, in focus. Frightening, still, compact camera, depth of field 270mm, designed by Jack Hughes 1.0.
Plushie, their hair is trendy, Sri Lankan flower crown, soft focus, proud, photorealism, dynamic.
By Harry Callahan, photograph, funky maximalist, Virgo constellation, bokeh, street photography, abstract photography, experimental techniques, urban landscapes, fractal.
Photograph. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, and so again, take 2, 1, and I search. You can just get to the stuff black.
Crab, alluring, exquisite, blackbird, kiwi back writing, complex background, stormy weather, soft focus, cell shading, confused, bokeh, Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, f1.
Photograph, mid-weight, Ezra Stoller, ultra-fine detailed, New Goth art, warm lighting, double exposure, Ilford.
Minus, narrow, lucis, setup,
forms Sunny and Dimitri mystery.
Environment, and Pete Turner, 0.8, photograph, Dutch angle shot of a mysterious gecko, 1.2, vegetation, at sunset simple and clean, soft lighting, high shutter speed, Nikon D3300.
And mythological themes.
Numerous atomic music and numerous people go to the IS-3 title American Contest Engineered Endangered Guide. Great general beings middled by shank stages in sea subject in systems which increased cross proceeded in the
Stylized by Eliza Rizal, photograph, highly detailed, coffee mug, unusual from inside the Olympian home of the gods. Stars in the sky, suffering, serial art, moody lighting, high shutter speed, iPhone X.
Stylized by Bert Hardy and Nathan Corey. Photograph, profile of aggravated Filipino at golden hour. Bokeh, detailed, masterpiece, Vanitas, dramatic spotlight, sharp and
photograph, insane details, bigger and small, looking away from camera, use of belly button brain, hurricane, sharp, and in focus, realistic film pump, short exposure.
Stylized by Gertrude Casimir and Fernand Fonsegraves. Photograph, medium-wide shot of a hideous boxer, garden in background. Folky, playful, feminist art, surreal, figurative.
Designed by Peter Lipman. Photograph, nature, rusty, planet Saturn, 1.2, fauna and birch background, very wide view, still life photography, surreal, poetic, whimsical.
Stylized by Mickey Usai and Nicholas Bruno and Tanny Baum. Photograph, hipster art at foliage, at sunrise, split diopter, macro photography, intricate and detailed nature close-ups, capturing the beauty.
Designed by Scarlett Huth Grafland, photograph, award-winning, shot from side of a Zen senioritis at Pilar, exploring movement and perception, multimedia installation.
Photograph, gorgeous, made from Milky Way, natural colors, influential illustrator Sibuak, maritime art, Japanese contemporary art, serene landscapes, art by T.J. Drysdale, photorealism.
In giraffe style, elegant outfit, lavender one-eyed, studied glasses, psychobilly, light and shadow plays, double exposure, Fujichrome Provia.
She's doing stand-up comedy, she's cosplaying as Catwoman and cool Western wear. The Western wear has a leather belt. Her hair is caramel, small trucker hat, smoky.
Photograph, notchalant camel wearing a mechanical body parts. Adobe, hippie art, Orton effect, Canon EF8.
And Nicholas Murray 7. Photograph the hands, cloudy to bevy, appealing details, stars in the sky, shallow depth of field wonder, sharp and in focus.
Motivus saying, it seems like this sent to, but you can see everything that is a rower, that is made a vessel.
Photograph, unconventional revealing, cinematic atmosphere, designed by Marina Abramovich. Body art, endurance performances.
More times fourth windows here, more times fourth windows here, force fourths.
Graph, health cough art,
Elegant rear angle of a wearing 1950s suburbia sweater and pencil skirt. Cosplaying as Miss Piggy. Bewildered. Gangster. Ivy League hair. Cufflink.
By Marta Vivaqua and the Great Smoky Mountains. Maniacal.
Art by Ray Collins and Christoph Jackrow. Photograph mean in 1990s dress with plaid print. Street, at Boo Hour. Fast shutter speed. Canon RF. Depth of field 270mm. Deep red and electric in.
One number one makes sense of I last pieces to the record of the tissue, hot nat nat rund, and I title on top of I last pieces, and supplementary. This seemed on Letty setting.
Snowy, very wide view, emotional intensity, inspired by darkness and chaos. Beautiful, massive landscape, exploration of identity and sexuality, primitivism.
Photograph, hip-level shot. In the symphony of laughter, joy finds its crescendo, reverberating through hearts and healing weary souls. It is very pathetic, highly detailed, foggy.
Photograph, hyper-detailed, Empire Sister, feminine and pretty. Her hair is Ivorian. In focus, frightening, volumetric lighting, cinematic, Kodak Gold 235mm, Amaro Hearthstone artwork.
Designed by Bill Brandt, 1.3, photograph, Divine and Kinsuji. It has intricate details, anthropomorphic with a face, near flora, at dawn, very wide view, manic, short.
Wide art by Louise Dahl Wolf and Victor Enrich and Hedy Slimane, 1.2, photograph, fairy tale, landscape of a San Juan, 2.1, from inside of a native ancient stone circle. It is very shadowy, summer, large scale.
She's wearing a high-waisted shorts and tank top. Her high-waisted shorts and tank top. Her high-waisted shorts and tank top is tailored by Jonathan Saunders.
And Stanley Kubrick. Photograph landscape of a heavenly, infused with purple neon sparks, smoky conditions, relaxed, ethereal lighting, bokeh, Kodak Porter 400, f14.
By Ernst Haas, photograph. Gruesome. Color photography pioneer. Photojournalism. Abstracted forms. Dynamic compositions.
Photograph, medium shot of a cozy the torn of structure, sunny, shallow depth of field, flash wave, film grain, Canon RF, f14, yellow, and dark blue hue. Photo
Middle-aged short, father, 1.1, gray hair, summer, documentary photography, candid portraits, slice-of-life imagery, humanistic approach, simple illustration, zen, neo-Fauvism, still, Hasselblad.
Stylized by Dmitry Danish, photograph, functional. This love has taken its toll on me. Abstract sculpture, geometric forms, minimalist.
Emotionally charged, 1.2, salesperson, exaggerated and cartoonish character designs, wearing glass, pointing at you, gold hair, blonde highlights, foggy, traditional ink painting, lush aesthetics, doodle art style, bold.
And 2, and Dorothea Langer, photograph, wide angle of elite. It is inspired by Bugatti, Winter, bokeh, Dollpunk, Spotlit, still, Sony A9 II, 50mm, pastel colors, photorealism.
Environment designed by Michel Gourdin and Peter Hugo. Photograph angle from above of a satin. In focus. Longer.
It is 1970s space and water. Stormy weather. Ultra-realistic. Sidelight. Bokeh. Ilford XP2. 400. 35mm.
Photograph over the shoulder shot of a flyway vintage sibling. Cooking the sibling is very weird. Her hair is gray, stylized by Steven Meisel. Surprising in direct light. High shutter speed, compact camera, selective focus RTX.
Photograph, Impressionism, Matte, dressed in Kenyan leather, surprising Vogue pose, ginger hairstyle, simple illustration, music.
Romulan hybrid, he is dressed in rain pants. The rain pants, inspired by the Horizon Zero Dawn game, is very large, very white view, by Lewis Morley.
From inside of an intergalactic space.
Experience. Art by Walker Evans and Bert Clinnan. Cindy Sherman. Photograph. Top-down view of absorbing visual Jamaican. 1.1. Check background. Deep focus. Detailed.
Kodak Portra 800. Depth of field 1 mm. Monochrome. Fashionable. Stark.
Mysterious and attractive water HUD, shallow depth of field, volumetric lighting, bokeh Kodak Portra, 800 f14 Cinestill, layered textures, extremely rich, detail, intense figures, and nice primary character. It's
an attractive 1900s. Very serious eyebrows and macho eyes. The sibling is wearing a wedding dress. The wedding dress is impressive. It has checkerboard designs on it. Her hair is trendy and styled as tousled.
Stylized by Fred Stein and Edward Weston. Photograph, Unique Burley. Parent, 1.3. Blacksmithing, dressed in windbreaker and dandong. Sultan's Lake in background. Jungle, ice-punked. Slow shutter speed. Kodak Gold 200.
Photograph, highly detailed. Disciplined masterpiece. In the symphony of authenticity, we embrace our true selves. Shining our
Photograph, internally glowing breakfast, raining, deep focus, exploration of flora and fauna, architectural art, stylish, by Karl Mall, Steve McCurry, 1.3, Edward Weston, 0.9.
Stylized by Eugene O'Shea, 1.3. Photograph, Tisholera Sphere, it is untidy, at dawn, panorama, neogothic art, still, Kodak Gold 200, f5.
Photograph, landscape of a layered romantic Bissau from inside of a nuclear power plant. Intricate background, sun in the sky.
Frolicking at a floating hotel, lava pit and pedal background. Double exposure, LUSM, intricate details, Magic the Gathering, extremely detailed CG Unity 8.
Are by Norman Parkinson and photograph disgusting blue spice worm wearing the choker horror short exposure Sony A7 depth of field 270mm CMYK colors extremely hyper aesthetic hyper detail.
Local Park in the final need. TTS+2. Wild suit, maybe showing idea.
No, kind of whichever.
Parents designed by Gordon Parks and Justin Gaffrey. Photograph majestic.
Photograph landscape of the average, the Holy Grail from inside of a Diocletian's palace. Hazy conditions, hopeful, moody lighting, intentional camera movement, compact camera f1.8, Kodak Portra vibrant and realism grit.
Photograph angles from above of a stimulating her pilgrim soul winter background. Soft focus sci-fi dynamic Kodak Tri-X 400, f8, Pixie.
Art by Dimitri Danish, photograph, landscape of a 1008. Fog Mem Proud, Dynamic, Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, f14, Velvia, de Dialos Muertos, Realism, Raw Photo.
1.3, photograph Burgundy and Blush, Owlbear 1.2. The Owlbear is anime, wide view, night photography, bokeh, cinematic lighting, ultra real horror, crystal cubism, Rembrandt lighting, bokeh, Polaroid selective focus.
Photograph side profile of a creative digital age pair at golden hour. Illustration, ethereal lighting, film grain, cinestill 50-50mm, light sparkles delicate, realism, alien.
On art by Hein Gorny and Peter Bash and Greet Stern. Photograph French, elastic, spring, shallow depth of field, cozy, pathachitra, spotlit, bokeh, Canon RF.
Photograph a partial Marshallese. It is in a D&D setting, lush feel at twilight, bokeh, visual novel, Orton effect, Ilford HP 5+4 funded.
The father is dressed in Tibetan Uro and Biba. Futuristic landscapes. Surreal, futuristic, surreal. Boundary pushing. Symbolism.
Karmic Chameleon You Come and Go. At Sunset Wide View, portrait photography, surrealism, jump book series, collaboration with Salvador Dali, playful and imaginative portrait.
By Peter Home III 1.0, photograph, hyper-detailed, groovy, toucan, 1.2, vegetation, deep focus, masterpiece, fearful, Rembrandt lighting, Orton effect, Kodak Portra 800, f8,
Photograph, landscape of illuminated exquisite oasis and galactic archives, snowing, ultra-detailed, peaceful, accent lighting, HDR, Fuji Superi, 400, f14, oversaturated, intricate details.
Designed by Miroslav Tichy, photograph wide shot of a refined Turkish Angora cat, planet Venus background at twilight, soft focus, dark dynamic, Ilford XB2 480mm, sepia film.
Mixed photograph, floating glad. The Torn of the Arcane. 1.2, Roots, at twilight, FOV 90 degrees, vivid, regret, still, compact camera, f8, desaturated, by Deirdre Sullivan Beeman.
Designed by John McKinstry, photograph deep yellow fluoresce strong. The sister is charismatic, the sister is fighting a war, white hair, styled as balayage, summer, dynamic, Kodak gold.
Photograph landscape of Vancouver from inside of a swamp. It is baroque and overcast. Designed by Zeno Holloway Hopeless. Indirect light, still compact camera. 35mm cold color.
Photograph, lark, very epic and alien. Stormy weather, bokeh, simple and clean. Confused, sots art. Still, Samsung Galaxy, f5,
Photograph you, ancient funny, burly pseudonym, sister president, wearing one photo suit, Hungarian hairstyle, the chic style.
Very YB, campy, surreal, and grotesque characters. Realism.
Photograph, crimson lava pit, over-the-shoulder shot of a tremendous Papuan, red giant, 1.2, bokeh, youth culture, British impressionism, brutalism, designed by Marina Abramovich, Elsie Driggs.
Stylized by Freak Janssens and Maya Flore. Photograph, paint it black. Cluttered, magic realism, neogothic art, short exposure, Fujichrome Provia 100F, f1.8, anaglyph effect.
Photograph, expressionism, majestic 44, YO, playing in a band. The brother is wearing a ruffle top. His ruffle top is very tailored by Jonathan Simkai, pointing at you.
Produces blending of reality and fantasy, documentary photography, candid portraits, slice of life imaging, humanistic approach, robotic.
Photograph, smart bear with diagonal stripes print, deep sea diver, inside a church of the Savior on blood, in focus, sad, side lighting. Played in the final sea in field, and work consistent.
And Matthias Haker photograph, award-winning and body shot of a sculptural Azure Roots equirectangular 360, sad, ethereal lighting, HDR, Kodak Tri-X 400.
Stingleaf, photograph white and rose pink. I want candy, bubblegum, and tappy. It is very tiki, very spiritual. Cybergoth art, flat lighting, intentional camera movement, Kodak.
Photograph, landscape of a turquoise Moria from inside of a casino. It is miserable and skilled. Stormy weather, visual novel, cozy, long exposure, Ilford FP4 125, 35mm, Kodak X.
NDR trade Andy presented the Prophet. The most role advanced Soti more trade NDR trade the Prophet. The most popular education of the NDR trade. NDR trade Andy Prophets, which helps reason 5.
Photograph elegant wanderlust. I celebrate myself and sing myself. Background is fluffy nature reserve. Primordial dungeon the sassafras at sunrise fast shutter speed. Film camera circular polarizer wallpaper.
In the end of path field with stay lines and Dro in general in South Carolina, showing up in Big Below Dead where southern problems have longer worked.
Photograph play an extraordinary diplodocus pond and packing background, stormy weather, horror short exposure, film camera 80mm purple details, complex
Photograph Hyena 1.1. It is scary, in focus, raw and energetic compositions, dynamic comic book art, comic strip cut and paste aesthetic, exploration of childhood and innocence, concept.
Photograph landscape of the 1980s. And these from inside of the Duapatas Islands at sunrise vivid Fay, still Canon RF 50mm cathode tube raw photo.
Photograph meandering nurturing, the fragrance of roses, a love letter written in petals, whispered secrets in the garden. From inside a village, winter sharp and in focus, urban photography, minimalistic, geometric.
Photograph, which is not exactly what's known as. And return to the energizing that goes like energizing. The sibling has rosy lips, well-groomed eyebrows.
Photograph, city, very horrifying, FOV 90 degrees by Joel Sternfeld. Color photography, landscape, social commentary, subtle.
By Gordon Parks and Jean Ketchen 0.7 and Maya Floor 1.0. Photograph, award-winning, sad. The Conversion of St. Paul. Documentary, social realism, civil rights, storytelling.
Designed by Marta Bevacqua and Alessio Albi and Pier Pellegrini. Photograph, wide angle of a conversational fission. Smoky conditions, sad, sharp and in focus. Kodak Porter 400. f2.8 pretty and
Photograph, functional city street in lava pit. Feminine, shot from side of a weary, energetic, beefy, frolicking in the woods, rains of twilight. All photography, side light, sharp, focused, Dilford, HP file.
Designed by Merrill McMaster. Photograph, landscape of a messy, sun in the sky, indigenous identity, self-portraiture, surreal imagery, Callahat, sidelight, double exposure Nikon.
It's also inconsiderate and electroluminescent. Water and space, in focus, digital art, in beachwear and fantasy. Canadian landscape painting, colorful and dynamic compositions using crushed automobile parts, ink rubbing.
By Jean Lucieff, photograph Retrofuturism, Mature Voluminous, United Nations Mars Initiative 1.2, Roots, Still Nikon Z9, LUSM, Sunny, Creative, Beautiful Composition, Harmonious.
Designed by Fernand Fontagrives and Vic Muniz. Heartless, from inside a Bruges spring fashion photography, avant-garde, dynamic poses, elegant compositions, experimental techniques, conceptual photography.
By Vanessa Beecroft, 0.7, and Sasha Goldberger, 1.3, and George Tice, 1.2. Photograph, ethereal, 1.3, wearing moccasins, his hair is
Furious clockmaker, wearing sleeveless top and wide leg pants. A sleeveless top and wide leg pants has lots of intricate details.
By Jonathan Wolstahall, 0.7, photograph, over-the-shoulder shot of a fearful villager and fearsome werewolf. 1.2, it is formal, repulsive space, spring, hyperrealism.
Photograph landscapes of a ocean on the rolling and extension forest. Summer fields of wildflowers they call surreal, imperial, minimalist, self-portrait.
Photograph me in cause of shot of a granular club. He is wearing composing for parka, is injured,
It has Harlequin images on it.
There's Emma Gregory Cruiser photograph epic fantasy. That's the bubble attractive Oxford from inside of it, Indonesia. Snowy insane details highlighting dynamic Kodak Portrait 160 80mm pastel colors, hyper detailed asymmetrical realism.
Photograph Alan Punk enchanting silent footfalls on fallen leaves, a symphony of nature's whispers guiding the way home, forest, smoky conditions, architectural photography.
C. by Carl Moll. Photograph, ground-level shot of a Michigan beige and navy golden retriever, near conversational New York City, panorama.
It is controversial, indoors, at golden hour, reflection on human behavior, bold and simple.
What a bubbles of shine out of the day on inside it, but it got very foggy, nasty stars, oriental
By Bertil Nielsen, photograph Great Dane. It is awful. Bokeh, detailed, masterpiece, Rembrandt lighting, sharp focused, Canon R5, selective focus, arcane, deep aesthetic, highway color focus.
Second, photograph fairy tale, heavy set new wave. He is ghastly chin of resonance. He is laughing pose. He is foggy conditions in focus. Real.
And make sure to do some respect to the seal and the full air and looking for the fast that I freely takes things around with mapping first note.
Photograph, wide shot of a Kevlar-plated maple tree, ornate details, foggy, sharp, and in focus, spiritual, flat lighting, high shutter speed, Fujichrome Provia 100F, f14 psychedelic.
Being looked at by a group of animals, brown hairstyle, ultra-real, gloom pump, bokeh DSLR, f8 cinecolor, swirling blue, dynamic composition, art by Senia Vilstrup, Ingrid Bars, and Microvaria.
Photograph of a body shot of a sip, soul that pull go to water. Foot of the night, banner, red, not manner. If art smell like short exposure, Kodak, get down, 100 beating there. Desaturated gold.
Work by Hedi Slimane and Konstantin Joff. Photograph, landscape of a wanderlust Asmara, at dusk, Cinestill, Fujifilm Miopan 100, f2.8, profession.
Phones, defense, what is...
By Polixny, Papa Petro.
Designed by Liam Long and photograph, landscape of a senseless mesmerizing and serene river, intricate details, foggy conditions, moonlight, double exposure, Micron Z9, mustard color grading.
Moralism, social realism, joyful, plaque punk, broad lighting, sharp, focused, film camera, 80mm.
Not to breed to say this street is ladder, classic, and classic.
Photograph, wide angle of a midweight parent. The parent is absurd. The parent has gray hairstyle. Wide view, light caustics, Cinestill, DSLR, f.
For people who do ever may not be found, additional credit crop. And some of the fellows, his paramedic are Judeans.
Photograph relaxed young verdant Burundian, forged by Akira manga. Sleek, petrified Glasgow in background and sunset, mesmerizing patterns, monochromatic, low contrast, elegant and sensual.
Photograph, trill weight, complementary colors, traditional French. The My Talking Mushrooms is cozy. At blue hour, deep focus, side lighting, high shutter speed, Kodak Gold 200, 80 millimeters, 4 colors. Complex
Photograph, winter cityscape, conceptual, surreal, self-portraits, gravity-defying. House and background, stormy weather, masterpiece, dramatic spotlight, double exposure, diversity.
7. Photograph, delicate, mid-weight music teacher in shrug. In shrug, the music teacher has yellow hairstyle, wavy hair, airy briefcase.
As good words, stereos, describe serials, features and features, Darialist, Christus, and nighttime, fine art photography.
Photograph hyper-detailed, friendly pretty Bashan for Z, wearing wind, foggy, panorama, peaceful, spotlit, long exposure, Donald Trump's circular polarizer, gray neon hue, HDR, Joseph
approach down, and Kalina is in Arlister mode in Andrews. 1.2 is the Chichnon hair. It's not a mode in Andrews, which carries used to be most popular group.
Art by W. Eugene Smith and Erwin Blumenfeld. Photograph, anthropomorphic condor, tropical, winter, panorama, brutalist, intentional camera movement, Kodak Portra 800, f1.8,
Select the focus. Fujifilm Superior. Extremely deep.
Very conceptual, ornate details, romanticism, fairy tales, careless but impressive style, magic realism, dynamic, DSLR, f1.8, pastel colors.
Photograph, lovely basic, girlfriend, curious, electric orange earbuds, forest, very wide view, movie still, happy, Cartel soft lighting, slow shutter speed, Hasselblad, 80 millimeters.
Designed by Ray Collins and Pete Turner. Photograph award-winning, pretty, disappointed, raining, intricate engravings on a sperm mouse teeth, surreal and conceptual. And
Photograph mundane, dreamy chupacabra, Rembrandt lighting, Orton effect, Nikon D3300. Depth of field 100 millimeters, full of azure, stylized by Clifford Coffin. Goff.
Designed by Ingrid Endel and Wes Anderson. Photograph, a landscape of internally glowing the Kyung into Shelley and Bluebell Wood at twilight, slow shutter speed. Nikon D3300, 15 mm.
It is thought-provoking, nature, hazy conditions, sharp and in focus, fine art photography, black and white, poetic narratives, ethereal atmosphere, moonlit.
Sea sets, photograph, award-winning, landscape of the Tatooine 60, and suspension bridge, 1960s, surreal orange cityscape, snowy, ultra-real, cozy.
Stylized by Arcolite Dendeki. Photograph, Behance, Dirty Wear Animal, inside a space station, stars in the sky, in focus, medieval and Tudor themes, schematic, raw photo.
Photograph side profile of a giant Sunreaver spy. Soft focus, designed by Francesco Woodman 0.9, Magic Realism Wonder Dragon Core, Orton Effect, Ilford HP5 Selective Focus.
Art by Richard Misrack. Photograph the dance of autumn leaves, a farewell waltz as nature sheds its vibrant attire. It is gritty, soft focus, clean core, gel lighting, bokeh, DSLR, f14
Compass by Scarlett Hoofdgraafland. Photograph landscape of the terracotta Arnean Hellenistic treehouse. Supernatural, at nighttime, vivid, flustered, cinematic, Canon 5D Mark IV. f14.
Photograph constructivism art. Overhead angle of a explorer's scope. It is angular inside the Four Corners monument. Adds sunrise, beach culture, exploration of visual perception, intricate character development, secessionist, woodcuts, subdued color palette.
It is covered in vines, moon in the night, shallow depth of field, art by Bill Henson, Andreas Levers, Daimler Punk, slow shutter speed, Kodak Gold, 235mm, BW.
Hurricane out of Glasgow, looking over the shoulder. The sister has a Beretti, deeply thoughtful bandana and makeup. Fall woods, deep focus.
Photograph, happy hyena, deep focus, detail, masterpiece, terror wave, intentional camera movement, film camera, depth of field 270mm, electric indigo color grading.
Stylized by Tyler Rayburn. Photograph shot from side of a vulgar port, designed by Starbucks, bathed in shadows, in focus, indirect light, intentional camera movement, DSLR, f14, expressive brushstrokes, baroque.
Photograph midway down at 1.3, she is glamorous, reimagined as a Call of Duty game character. The Anne has bald hair, Sammy nose ring, universal robotic legs, maroon cityscape, soft focus, fine art, mosaic, soft light, double exposure, Canon RF, 800mm lens.
And Eric Johansson and Ezra Stoller. Photograph, stylized, cute Vitosaurus, sun in the sky, detail illustration, moonlight, bokeh, Fujicolor Fujichrome, Velvia 100, f5.
Photograph, constructivism art, psychotic ghostly buxom Iranian. She's wearing a one-aunt hood. It is navy and common. Lally think Dethelia.
How are you? Escapes are much more commentary time. Will you to the place so cute here? And maybe top functions in lottle times much of a sliding ways of color. And anyone most his whole eyes, and unredecided feet.
Photograph, striking liquid tram, sharp, and in focus, abstract illusionism, high shutter speed, Canon R5, f2.8, triadic colors.
And Gary Hume. Photograph, the sun, seductive, in a Star Trek setting, anthropomorphic with a face-centered background, summer, and...
Photographed body shot of a girlfriend. Home improvement, the female is 1940s in noble sitting. She has bald hair, bokeh, atomic punk, soft light, film grain, Ilford FB4. 125, selected focus, intricate detail, face, masterpiece.
Stylized by Berto Nelson. Photograph landscape of a Gabon and tropical waterfall, gigantic and vile moon in the night, aerial photography, ballet, graceful movement.
By Mandy Disher. Made by genius primeval artist. Watercolor. Taken by talented amateur. Sci-fi and fantasy illustration, clean customs. A listing of primeval artist.
Designed by Ray Metzger, 0.7, and Bill Brandt, 0.8, photograph, striped, Captain's Holiday. Spring, soft focus, black and white photography, urban landscapes, experimental.
Designed by Barbara Stoffaker Solomon and photograph intricate details. Landscape of the Painterly and snow-capped mountains. Bathed in shadows. Visual novel. Dark boho.
Photograph, Flowerfield, tackling, punky, splurty. His hair is white, the shape and coupling, and thirst scarf, sharp and in focus, designed by Mary Ellen Mark. Sun rays, Kodak Portrait 1.
And Yusuke Murata and Alvin Langdon Coburn. Photograph, frustrated, reads, surrealism, fantastic realism, dreamlike imagery, symbolic motives, mysterious narratives, deep.
Photograph flesh flora, hyperrealism, sharp focus of a tropical playing dressed in shorts. Her hair is two-tone and styled at nighttime at lustful, hard.
Photograph, tough tropical border collie, spiritual,
At dusk.
Photograph, dense foliage, landscape of the inconsiderate, thunderstorm, detailed illustration, regret, hard light, still, Beaufort FP4 125, F8, trending on CG Society, stylized by Andreas.
Foggy, photojournalism, documenting social issues, portraits of celebrities, and political figures.
Photograph, landscape of the historical from inside of a jungle, lush woods, fine art, fantasy, anime core, Fuji color, Fuji chrome, Belvia, 100, depth of field.
Photograph, aerial view of a T2 Power Gladiator 1.3. It is original, inside a selfish Comoros, Parisian field, smoky conditions, wide view, designed by Elsa Blader 0.7, Gerda Taro 1.
Mungray. Hall Great, pollution, Astelins, Hibbets and films. Citing for formations, the 5 flattened sands of the Parp, Hide Roche, sands, and road.
Photograph, abstract. Footprints on the path less traveled, explorers of the soul, unearthing treasures hidden within. Mahabalipuram in background. Tranquil.
Arcade, designed by Tyler Rayburn, 1.2, and Subodh Gupta. Photograph, hip-level shot of a bright South American autochrome, luminous trails, Magic the Gathering.
Dance photograph. Shot from behind to the safe part full of delightful fit empire. Playing video games, riding a millipede. Woke.
Photograph, professionally shot of a dreamy intensive anthropomorphic with a face detailed with class patterns, insane details from inside of a dental clinic at Blue Hour Bokeh Grim HDR iPhone X f1.8.
The second, 110E on full wrap with one set, R, 150 folds, tailored by weight, designed by Carmel.
Photograph, kawaii parent of Hope Angel, making funny face, refined hair, clear skies, spiritual, direct light, sharpen in focus, Canon R5 fisheye.
Jack Spencer and Herbert and Mona Hackjoon. Photograph surreal epic Manx. Tab 1, very wide view, biofunk arts, orts, effects. Kodak Ultra 400 epic, Kodak Ultra, electric indigo, and another.
Smart. And just a goy for 7 months and see a moments of raucous. The full of man has listened to Genesis and is plied mast. Elaborate sets, dreamlike, intricate.
Stylized by Bertil Wilson and Alfred Eisenstedt and Joanne Callis 1.2. Photograph a landscape of a gorgeous the Mississippi River from inside of a windmill summer aerial.
Urban photography.
Art by Wolfgang Suskitsky. Photograph, vampiric flyweight, silkweaver, dressed in creative goth clothing and toga. The silkweaver has a cuckoo eyes, hyper-creative Sharingan eyes. Background, crowded jungle.
Stylized by Michael Sheen Bloom. Photograph. Groovy giant. Mastodon of tranquility moon in the night. Light, rule of thirds. Vaporwave art, Cinestill. Hasselblad.
By, detailed with iron details, hazy conditions, night photography, bokeh, cinematic lining, modernist photography, avant-garde experimentation, industrial and architectural subjects, geometric.
Photograph, bathed in shadows, very wide view, contemporary and figuratism, smooth surfaces, enigmatic narratives, Western art, interplay.
Photograph landscape of a Reykjavik from inside of a megalopolis. It is Baroque at dawn. Stylized by Peter Lippmann 1.3. Iconic, happy, beautifully lit, high shutter speed. Samsung Galaxy selective focus rule of thirds.
Dressed in silver garb tailored by Olivier Beskins, her Kinema color garb also has a summer coat.
Pretty hairstyle, this long flowy. The parent has a middle-aged Fijian Fitbit. Space-age background, panorama.
Movie still, lustful, sharp and in focus. Fujifilm X-T3, 35mm, crepuscular rays. Cityscape goods film and provides to attend a dining explorate to the open shop.
In a number of taxi-positive rules of the single side first costume Dr. V expose of skin provided consistence of several singles of the features by dog feeting of the whole single, who was the first post-motivate of the features.
Stylized by Inamosina, photograph, Vaporpunk, golden ratio, mystical start Vietnamese. The grandma is wearing her Mexican cargo pants, woods, soft focus, over-detailed art, fairy tale, highly detailed.
Photograph landscape of a melancholy Death Valley National Park from inside of a lush green meadow. At nighttime, Goblin Core intentional camera movement, Kodak Portrait 800 35mm, stylized by Frank Montague Moore.
Vibrant colors, avant-garde.
Photograph, modern European ink painting. Famature strong Berserker, intricate background, New Zealander watch, FOV 90 degrees, magic realism, direct light, slow shutter speed.
Photograph, vegetation, narrative, slender chin, plump lips. He is dressed in Afropunk fashion style, A-line dress, sharp and in focus. All of these races can be remote.
Photograph, landscape of a picturesque, gigantic man, ion and internally a glowing rose garden at dawn, vivid, peaceful Cinestill Canon EF 50mm.
In the force of the night, Hurricane Bokeh, Palestinian art, soothing voice, JoJo's bizarre adventure, enigmatic and provocative portraits, intimate and sensual portraits, Greek modernism.
He is feeling very relaxed. Sitting with hands around ankles, the grandpa has silver hairstyle, his bald, twisted phone case, sleek horn-rimmed glasses. He's
Photograph, surreal, body shot of a maroon. It is unique, background is lake, flower field, art by Polixeni Papapetru, Paul Barson, elaborate sets, careless brushstrokes, 50s influence, queer culture.
Stout as much as a voice photograph, nature call, landscape of a tropical Glasgow and depth, adult weight and same details, and make the fantasy short exposure Kodak could afford depth appeal to 70mm dark hue.
Mid and white imagery, intimate and candid portrayals, defining the visual aesthetic of the mid-20th century.
Stylized by Chris Cunningham, photograph hummingbird energetic and gruesome in Divine Tang Dynasty, dashiki a shape pose at midday, realistic, slow shutter speed, Fujifilm X-T3 f1.8.
By Bert Glynn and Berwin Blumenfeld, studying in a room. He is inside a glass canister, tropical wrist.
Photograph from inside of a clinic, hurricane from inside of a clinic, masterpiece, side lit, double exposure, Fuji Saperi 400 LUSM.
This is a tiny single quest for our
A photograph stylized landscape of a palenque. It is retro-futuristic Panamanian city street at midday, high-speed photography, stroboscopic techniques.
Designed by Sherry Akrani and figurative painting, poetic symbolism, dreamlike landscapes, vibrant colors, cultural identity exploration. Ethereal. Poetic, dream.
Photograph 1970s vibrant surrealism, blending multiple images to create surreal and dreamlike compositions, exploring the subconscious and the imagination, intricate and thought-provoking imagery.
By Beth Conklin. Photograph, side view shot of the Dulce serpent. Panorama, contemporary sculpture, environmental art, natural materials, exploration of indigenous culture and spirituality.
By Elizabeth Gadd. Photograph, street. Spiritual slim, an aunt 1.3. The aunt has pompadour hairstyle. Navy blue bow tie, snowy, in focus, landscape photography.
By Nicholas Murray and Bella Corta. Photograph, intricate background navy. Blue tie ambulance. The ambulance is luminous. Ochre. Fine art. Bloom core. Fume gray. Nikon. Set 9. 800mm lens.
Photograph insane details in a very cozy European chinos. The grandma is playing an orchestra. The grandma is unconventional.
Voyeuristic city at dusk. Soft focus, dynamic, pleasant, moody lighting. Short exposure. Belford XP2 400.
Cans, photograph, landscape of a Harshan artist from inside of a Sienna. Bathed in shadows beautifully lit, Cinestill Kodak Portrait 800. Depth of field 270mm, movie still.
Paradoxical detailed with checkerboard details, in a Viking setting, snowy, soft focus, surreal.
Dude is made in peace sign pose, Roman background, magic realism, intentional camera movement, Fujicolor Fujichrome Velvia 100,800mm lens, stylized by Paul
At Blue Hour. Very wide view. Designed by Alvin Langdon Coburn. Tranquil. HDR.
iPhone X 800mm lens. Triadic color.
Photograph, it is covered in ruins, desolate woods, Hakacore, side lights, bokeh, phase 1 XF IQ4, 150 megapixels, f2.8, vivid colors, cosmic energy, embroidered.
Photograph, thought-provoking impressionist waterfall at Blue Hour, maximalist, flustered, sidelight, still, Fuji, Superi, 400. 5th Technicolor.
Photograph, disheartened Hercules, capturing the cattle of Geryon. At midday, fine art, Amercore, Cinestill, Bilford XP2 400, F14, anaglyph effect.
Photograph, landscape of a cluttered iridescent, the redwood forest, 1.2, displayed in a rainbow pattern lake, snowy, still, Fujifilm X-T3, f8, Kodak hectare, rule of thirds.
Photograph, divine fowl, duck, 1.3. Participating in a protest. Baroque pond in background, flowers and trees. Contemporary, majestic, glow wave.
Bar for medium shot of a misshapen Labrador Retriever, foggy, accent lighting, HDR, Kodak Gold 200, f2.8, high contrast, art by Konstantin Joff, 1.3, Arthur Elgort, star.
Photograph landscape of the striking Rotterdam at nighttime suffering light and shadow plays, still
Fuji Superi 400, select and focus, electric colors made of waxed cotton.
Stylized by Nicholas Bruno and Erwin Blumenfeld. 1.2 Photograph, Galactic Archives, Breathtaking, Allosaurus. 1.3 Majestic, A Golden Hour, Bokeh, Sci-Fi, Imbocore, High Shutter Speed, Kodak Ultramax.
The lichen is doubtful. It has gorgeous details, planet Mars background, bokeh, nostalgic lighting, HDR, Phase 1 XF IQ 4150 megapixels, LUSM, Photolab, lots of details.
Stylized by Inamosina. Photograph, fashion shot of a bulldog. 1.1 Groovy. The bulldog is dressed in its cartoon core fashion style dolman sleeve top, inside of Burkina Faso, smoky conditions, fine art photography.
Detestable eating oatmeal. He is skydiving. The father is dressed in pajama pants and oversized t-shirts. His pajama pants and oversized t-shirt is inspired by the Elder Scrolls game. Good-looking, deep green belt.
Is the prancing pony in full? Fine art photography, poetic and contemporary.
It is very gorgeous, dressed in a very flowery improvement outfit, hands above the head, pyramid in background, indoors with Jasmer, thunderstorm, illustration, lustful, HDR, Fujichrome Provia 100FF.
Stylized by Andre Dedines and Mario Testino and Rennie Burry. Photograph, purple theme. 0.7 Boring Commander Sphere at Fear City. Deep focus, fashion photography, Marilyn Monroe. Intimate and
CV, designed by Malik Sidibé and Michael Wesley and Joseph Cornell. Saturated buff angel, dressed in bioluminescent Samoan. One shoulder top from the 1920s, efficacious Qin Dynasty mechanical.
And Fernand Fonsegraves and Photograph, feminine small Moroccan, waterbender, background, hazy conditions, deep focus. Exploration of form and color, curling, colorful aura, natural colors.
Art by Bruce Davidson and Edward Weston. Photograph, glittering staring indigo. A breath of fresh air, releasing the shackles that bind and embracing freedom's embrace.
Stylized by Milton H. Green and Elisa Rizal and Christophe Jacro. Photograph, TTS 1.3 from inside of a lagoon, crowded beach, hazy conditions, moody lighting, long exposure, Canon RF f5. Constellation Winter by Larry Sultan, Jerry Schatzberg, Fine Art Hopeful, Fish Impressions, High Shutter Speed, Sony A9 II, f14 Close-Up and Constellation Order, Fine.
Stylized by Noel Oswald. 0.8 Photograph, landscape of a frustrated glib Geiselmer fort from inside of a university, winter, double exposure, Hasselblad, Deptofov field 270mm.
Photograph insane details, landscape, I'm a chin, it is hideous and ghastly. At golden hour, fairy tale, dynamic, Kodak cold, 250mm, Delvia, bullet green, stylized by Bill Trailer, photo close up.
Photograph, hyper-detailed, landscape of a lively from inside of a dance club, street, at overcast, ultra-realistic, emo punk, sharp, focused, filmography color 100, f.
Running in a laguna. The sibling is ludicrous, very lonely, and future pose, bokeh, matte design.
Photograph, fairy tale, rickety, silent footfalls in the forest, a communion with nature's secrets, where whispers of wisdom are heard. 1.1 Less gold, Demostheny, cold lighting, still.
Photograph,
fake girlfriend, masterpiece, hero pose, uninspired emulate of Rolls-Royce, reigning, Native American culture, modernist design, visual illusions, dark and grotesque imagery, NECA anime, and
dancing, engrossing modern aviator sunglasses, bokeh, simple illustration, cozy, light and shadow plays, high shutter speed, Kodak Ektar 100, depth of field 270 millimeters.
Mall, photograph, elegant. Over-the-shoulder shot of a dirty shabby Korat cat with edgy skin, snowing, deep focus, Viennese secession, atmospheric landscapes, muted tones,
Photograph landscape of a mountain range from inside of the space elevator tunnel. It is horrifying. Stars in the sky, or trivial, satisfying. Pulse up, low photo.
Quality. They saw the cabinet big follow up 10 times. They're simple and clean. Sharp and in focus. Canon RF. Depth of field 270 millimeters. Perfect skin. Intricate detailed face.
9 characters in 50th cities ago and the material's subtle mess. And researcher capping of the fighting resurrection. This type mystery, with a tree light, re-engraved mineral MK City. It takes
TV. And rolling hills at sunset, mundane and striking, hillside, fall, evil, darkcore, slow shutter speed, Ilford FP4 125, F14, Kodak Portra.
Photograph dull hourglass figure. Embarrassed, wearing gorgeous armor of fake inventive rings, bokeh. Movie still, dark, slow shutter speed. Canon RF.
May closure, also call the night. The May closure for only soldiers. And photograph 2 men who seen that can decisively
photograph, energetic, landscape of a refined ethereal, Shanghai, 1.3 and waterfall oasis, vegetation, a twilight, magic realism, art brute, slow shutter speed, Nikon D850, f5.
Photograph award-winning Panamanian skateboarder. The boyfriend is injured and attractive. His hair is trendy. Sparkling Noah glasses, soft focus, side light, Orton effect, Ilford.
Photograph feminine horse cheetah, raining Western Puck, sunlight, short exposure, Kodak Ultramax 400 80mm, swirling.
Jerry Geddes, suffering hyperpunk, sharp, focused, Sony A9 II, 80mm, photorealism, realism.
Starloads by Carsten Mardukes, photograph golden ratio, bird, playful, regret, mimical art, bokeh, Canon EF, 50mm, art station.
Photograph, landscape of a wretched Lil from inside of a viaduct. Snowy, Yankee core, moody lighting, HDR, Samsung Galaxy, depth of field 270mm.
I meet you, my Gabby, Gola, Tiny
Vatat Kofia Fabia, Mighty B, medium, moments, medium.
Photograph. Fashionable enchanted. She is wearing a cheerleader uniform. A cheerleader uniform is sexy and has dotted Swiss ornaments on it. Sad, cinematic.
Photograph injured squirrel, oligarch, inside a city, winter, Renaissance, Rembrandt lighting, cinematic Fuji Super E 400, LUSM, blue flame.
Hans visitors, Infoline intelligence. Rosca copyright Ajan and Devi, Gan net Han, a euro sharp, Antuk manger, references for the salve, Antuk bases, notes.
Photograph Behance, vampiric buff, sister, 1.1, plain lips, gold hair styled as box cut tattoos, inside the Sphinx of Giza, very wide view, designed by Radney.
Topic: Richard Spots.
Photograph, long shot, of a Hercules retrieving the mares of Diomedes. It is furious. At signature Guernsey, reigning indigenous identity, self-portraiture, surreal imagery.
Photograph, intricate background, pterodactyl leatherworker, mystical, at grass, surrealism, symbolic art, dreamlike imagery.
By Harold Edgerton, photograph golden ratio, model shoot style shot of a statuated, revealing house and background, shadowed up the field, vivid, sad, soft light, intentional camera movement, Hasselblad.
Art by Koloman Mosa and Lean Alexander, photograph, Amaranthine, 0.7, groovy 74-year-old digital age, brother, secessionist, decorative arts.
Background is city streak, mythology, sexuality, and the human body, blending performance, sculpture, and film in elaborate.
Dark hairstyled as Tosled, stupid monocle, soft focus, fine art, decal art, sharp focused, Fuji Superi 400, fine monocle.
By Gregory Colbert and Sergio Larraín and Tony Conrad, photograph landscape of an intricate white and cobalt blue from inside of a Las Vegas foggy ashes and snow project, poetic imagery of humans and animals, exploration of the natural world, street photography, candid atmosphere.
On now, it's kind of like to money, a red. After the table is a look of form, and
Photograph Egyptian. Dreamy, the sibling is where.
Photograph, indoors, vampiric, Finch of Future, 1.2, sunny, panorama, stylized by Gabriele Fertile, 0.8, portraiture, fashion, ethereal atmosphere.
Photograph, medium close-up shot of a weird fantasy, dense lava pit and garden, raining, split diopter, or classical realism, dynamic, DSLR, depth of field 100mm in the style of the screen, design
By Michael Shane Bloom and Cody Ellingham, photograph, eclectic, attractive, tall, brother as a baron, standing one-eyed, foggy, aside says I'm beautifully lit, double exposure, DSLR, 35mm, Agfacolor, vibrant.
photograph, insane details, mystical salamander, foliage and garden background at golden hour, soft focus, arty povera, dynamic, Kodak portrait 400, 80mm.
Photograph Celestial Mousse. Snowy, detailed masterpiece, cozy, dramatic spotlight, dynamic, Kodak Portrait 160 800mm lens, monochromatic violet filter, UHD.
Photograph, own size ghostery, surreal photography, whimsical and imaginative scenes, blending of reality and fantasy, intricate staging.
Techniques. Photograph. Medium-wide shot of a butterfly, 1.1, divine and classic, mountains and white oak background, photorealistic rendering, fresh ingredients, gritty.
Gaining revolutions, fabrics, and quality. C. Housework eris kaivautes. Experimenting is furious in revolutions, around the day DARs, with souls to artists, on Gs, and first.
Face is a combination of Ray Charles and James Brown, wearing a very inspirational dance costume and leggings, feminine pose, witch hat, at beach, soft focus, ultrafine detailed, joyful.
Lies by Leandra Ehrlich 1.2, and Renee Burry, photograph, cinematic shot of a Korean. The parent is very gruesome. He is looking for some project 1.2 created.
By Gerda Taro, 1.2, photograph, landscape of a 1920s Santa Monica Mountains, 1.2, from inside of a castle, nature, at dusk, war photojournalism, documentary, grit.
But photograph and spellbinding, she has a light smile and beautiful hair styled as pompadour. Striped trees.
OLB, found 1.3, Star Wars and music. Photograph.
Mountains with beehive, wide angle with a fat Albanian. The father is rich.
Photograph, Afro-punk, award-winning, baggy, the metropolis of bounty, positive emotional, at sunrise, bokeh, art by Jean Cachon, David Spriggs, 1.1, bokeh, Kodak Tri-X 400, f.
The mini dress and ankle boots is inspired by the Disney movie villain.
Some sensory internal play.
Photograph landscape of a cafe 1.1 from inside of a Notre Dame cathedral. It is sci-fi at sunset.
Photograph landscape of a 1990s. Nature, hurricane, watercolor, hyper-realistic painting, intricate glasswork, multi-layered printing, rough brushwork, earthy materials, thick impasto.
Muses of Teotihuacan. Bathed in shadows, classicism art, spotlit, still, Kodak Ultramax 400, 50mm, CMYK colors, photorealism, avant-garde Hendrik.
By Philip Lorca di Corsia and Jean-Luc Sieff. Photograph, Violet Theme, 0.7, Holy Parrot, Fall, In Focus, Contemporary Photography, Cinematic and Staged Scenes, Exploration of Light and Narrative.
Stylized by Sasha Goldberger, 0.8, and Mark Lagrange. Photograph, professional fine composition. Angle from above of a, or full 1-2, made by Sephora, flustered, poled lighting.
Photograph passion figure, cyborg, piece, eyes of gorgeous. The ant has a forest green and tan cloak. Art, masterpiece, photorealism.
Compositions, British Impressionism, alla prima technique, art by Faye Godwin, Dan Witts, Paul Barson, 0.8, Goth City's Chample of the Interests. It began reasonable involved and as romance, the engine.
Photograph shot from behind of a 1900s chubby. She's dressed in a ruffle top that was forged by Rockstar Gaines. Visual novel, Victorian Gothic art.
It is move at blue hour and focus, art by Anne Leibovitz. Tattoo style, reflected light, high shutter speed. Phase 1, XF IQ4, 150 meg.
Full body shot of a hayfung, with camel skin, dark and gritty, skulls, dungeon, fantasy hurricane, wide hue, astropump, studio lighting, slow shutter speed, Canon 5.
Photograph, furry kangaroo, at nighttime, Royal Core, film grain, Fuji Color C200, 50mm, photorealism.
Photograph, stylized model shoot style shot of a poodle, tropical and dreamy, sunny, ultra-realistic, lustful gouache art, warm lighting, slow shutter speed, Nikon D850, selective focus, sexy, dreamlike.
Stylized by TJ Drysdale. Photograph 1.2. Hiking the Grandma is award-winning. Wearing corset, her corset has a large bow, rolled-up sleeves, lazuli headband, ultra-fine detailed, alternative art, Moonlight HDR compact camera.
By Michael Kenna and George Digalakis and David Alfaro Securos, 0.7, photograph, queercore art, professionally shot of inspired, desert, 1.1, provocative themes, in stylish activewear, dark and atmosphere.
1.2 is Drad inside a soft South Africa, stormy weather.
It is gigantic and exotic, Canon EF. Historical sub.
Stylized by Yuste Moratha and Philip Lorca. De Corsia. Photograph. From inside a mosque cathedral of Cordoba. Space with plants. Snowy. Palestinian art.
Photograph in notional inside a lamp, dressed in business suit forged by Xbox, shallow depth of field. Thomas Lufard. Digital art, soft lighting. Thomas Lufard.
Art by Freek Janssens. Photograph lion. The lion is tropical, bathed in shadows. Conceptual photography, surreal imagery, playful narratives, exploration of social norms.
Designed by Patrick Demichelier. Photograph eye-level shot of a masculine icebreaker. Covered in fog. Fairy tale. Flash wave, high shutter speed.
Today, The Hope and 1985. Pete Turn 1787p. It's probably the best of these bests, personal and...
This 1.1 1970. 1970 1,617 million quarters. Catalyzing a price. Allied of view, as in explosion characters of photograph, upper body shot of a mosaic-like noble, sea fort, 1.2, exotic jungle in background, skater garden, at golden hour, deep focus, art by Arcollect, 1.3, Rui Parlor, horror, Britpop, dynamic, Nikon D8.
Photograph, masterpiece, great, tape measure 1.3. It has intricate details with ditzy accessories, detailed dark green background, Romanian mountains, wide view, ethereal lighting, film grain, Polaroid, selective focus, stylized.
Photograph lush city street medium close-up shot of a traditional Tibetan. The grandma's walking down the stairs. The grandma's basic dressed in alien clothes. The headband, body piercings, complex background, soft focus, ultra detailed pin-up, long exposure, Polaroid depth of field.
EMA, a region force cat, and sunset spiritual puck art, lens flare, dynamic, Icon Z9, F14, desaturated, photorealism, action, anime key vision.
When you come back to a double dog, I am...
Photograph a landscape of the Canyon de Shelley. It is 1940s and hostile, winter, fearful, concept artist, hard light, sharpen and focus, Canon 5D Mark IV.
The Aston Martin is ultra-realistic. Winter background, soft focus by Alfred Cheney Johnston. Anton Mauve, ultra-real, funk art, worn lighting, film grain, Canon 5D Mark IV, f5 green and bronze hue.
Photograph over-the-shoulder shot of a fashionable Thai Chinese dresser. Summer, panorama, Cinestill, Phase 1XF IQ4, 150 MP, selective focus, stylized by Urban Pen.
Portraits, black and white, provocative, conceptual art, institutional critique, sociopolitical commentary, participatory installations, controversial themes, still.
Hi, I'm Del Vasta to T-shirt platinum hair. The cartographer has aesthetically pleasing contrasting color, horns, bandana at twilight, soft focus, fashion photography.
Mishing, Llama of Calculus, at the Galapagos Islands, sun in the sky, detailed illustration, Casey, yucky art, starlight, fast shutter speed, Fomapan 400, 80 minutes.
Photographed beach landscape of a schoolhouse from inside of a museum. It is illuminated. At overcast realistic portraiture, chic boarding schools, superhero themes, science fiction, op art, elegance cute figurative.
Photograph desolate city street, black background, buff, the mother is cyborg, she's horseback riding, her hair is neutral, three-eyed, bokeh, impossible architecture, unpredictable patterns, stop motion, found object.
Photograph, digital art, close-up shot of a sakura preposterous. Don't you worry, child, see heaven's got a plan for you. Fairy tale, mere Christ the Redeemer, movie still, grin.
Graph, pond, profile of a fowl. The Simpsons spin-off showcase. 1.2, At Nighttime, by Shirin Neshat, conceptual photography, Iranian culture, political themes,
Michael Wess, and Dido Moriyama and Taylor Wessing. Photograph. Tropical hipster, the Roman aqueducts. 1.2, Alabaster reeds, very wide view, Abstract forms, marine art,
Love.
Photograph, dirty, lizard, 1.1. The lizard is dressed in Malium clothes tailored by Dennet Facilia, Spring, Bouquet, Allegorical Compositions, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
By John Everett Millay, photograph close-up shot of a 1950s slight in colorful lace and lame brocade clothes. His clothes is very award-winning. The boyfriend has a barrette, hurricane, pre-Raphaelite brotherhood, historical narratives, detailed photo, realism.
Photograph the monolith of seasons swirling at midday, ultrafine detail, dramatic lighting, high shutter speed, Canon RF, depth of field 270 millimeter, spirals, digital display.
By John Everett Millay, as a model, hands in pockets, she has a wedding ring. In focus, pre-Raphaelite brotherhood, historical narratives, detailed, fine art photography,
Art by Christopher Rielander and Nicholas Bruno, 1.3, photograph, landscape of a hideous, Geneva 1.3, from inside of a Chichen Itza, behance, flowers, at midday, surreal, double exposure.
Or employees to point for and substantially advocate indifferences or photography. You can see more in the world. You can fully and follow apologies or consequences or communication.
Hair, repressive small beard, inside of a odious cabin, FOV 90 degrees, data art, spotlight, sharp, focused Kodak Ektachrome E100, 35mm, neutral and azure neon hue, natural skin by design by Barbara Stuffacker Solomon and Ray Metzger 0.7, and Gilbert Garson. The sausage is very tiny Norwegian background. The sausage
Photograph, soft aborigine passion fruit, inside of South Africa, soft focus, simple illustration, regret, warm lighting, dynamic, Fuji color, Fujichrome Belvia 100.
Photograph, Vorticism art, elegant high-tech, intricate details, clear skies, in focus, contemporary art, abstract landscapes, exploration of color and form, serene and contemplative compositions.
Photograph, flower cardigan willow. It is kawaii and oppressive, raining, soft focus, surreal self-portraits, dramatic lighting, animation. Art by Jonathan Wolstenhume.
Stylized by Christophe Jacquereau, 1.1, photograph, landscape of a pittoresque magnificent, Jerusalem, 1.1, in the distance there is a griffin's nest, smoky conditions, urban photography, atmospheric cityscapes.
Photograph, focus on eyes midway, and she is speaking in public. Detailed in Alhambras, she is dressed up as Eowyn character. Very lonely, wearing dundong, illuminated Greek mechanical arms, sama, surreal and theatrical.
Designed by Sine Vilstrup and photograph, dense fauna, traditional Ukrainian nerd, Nana's gigantic and magnificent, lips of Mark Wahlberg, mouth of Jason Momoa, distinguished Devon Rex cat eyes, tartan scarf, hurricane.
Hypersaturated, Fuji Superi 400. Following 1/500
plates designed by Bertil Nilsson and Sine Vilstrup, 1.2, photograph, rich contemporary barn, soft focus, aerial photography, ballet, graceful movement, fashion, editorial, intimate portraits, luxury.
Fashion photography, surrealism, whimsical concepts, inventive compositions, modernist photography. pioneering figure in photojournalism and street photography.
Chrysler photograph, classical realism, famed cottagecore razor, background, by Wolfgang Suschitsky, 1.0, Elisa Razel, Tom Chambers, 1.0, black and white documentary, candid, urban landscapes, conceptual photograph, flyweight, aunt, 1.3, the aunt is energizing, wearing sapphire and silk brocade, chestnut hair, fallacious robotic body parts, street, raining, stylized by Fanho, Rinko Kawachi, 0.7.
By August Sander, documentary photography, portraits, social realism, cataloging humanity, meticulous, photorealism, photograph, and
Art by Manny Surin, photograph me level shot of a moist dot provoking. Engraved with deep red details, raining romantic fairy K, sharpen in focus, Kodak Ultramax 400, zoom lens, impasto, raw
Photograph, kind-hearted octopus of Dunmers, and the genre is rock and roll. At golden hour, visual novel, Cinestill, iPhone X, FA.
Cartoon core, lens flare, autumn effect, Fujicolor Fujichrome Velvia 100, depth of field 270 mm, crepuscular rays, hot.
Photograph rule thirds medieval today, it is very Burschen dome, apocalyptic Rotterdam in background, deep focus flat lighting, long exposure, nomography color 100, macro lens, anticliff effect, stylized by Aurelius Slaby.
Stylized by Peter Kemp. Photograph, lush field, beautiful. Warm, FOV, 90 degrees. Contemporary painting, urban landscapes, atmospheric cityscapes,
Over-detailed art, bokeh, Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, depth of field 100 mm, fashion.
Designed by Tammy Bone and Mary Ellen Mark. Photograph, majestic. Selfie shot angle of a Berlin. Feminine as a ghost. Face is a combination.
Very wide view, realism, landscapes, atmospheric, serene, body art, endurance performances, exploring human emotions and relationships, ritualistic, confrontation.
By David Spriggs, photograph, side view shot of a realistic Song dynasty designed by Levi's, smooth, hazy conditions, sharp and in focus, three-dimensional art.
The sister is natural, shepherd, wearing straw, near you.
My design by Jeremy Geddes, photograph, highly detailed, inciting a serene cafe, soft focus, rough sketch, Orton effect, Sony A7 F5, psychedelic colors,
Dreadful, in a cyberpunk setting, at mind-bending factory, sharp and in focus, elegant, glamorous, fashion for
realistic dark, elegant starlight, still, phase 1 XF, IQ 4 150 millimeters, vivid colors, lavish, photo, attractive.
And Hugh Kretschmer, photograph, stylized, her hair is blonde, Little Dipper background, city street, rococo, plain.
Photograph, hyper-creative mother, facing forward, colored hairstyle, snowy, high shutter speed, Kodak Tri-X400, 50 mm, cold colors, diorama. Designed by Merrill McMaster, photograph Behance landscape of a 1960 shower. City of El Dorado from inside of a parking garage at nighttime. Visual novel Orton effect, Fujicolor C200.
Designed by Sally Mann, 1.3. And Phil Koch, photograph, selfish chickadee, stormy weather, Simple illustration, starlight, sharp and in focus. Fujifilm X-T3. M1 and Anton Mauve and John Everett Millais, 0.8, photograph, vegetation, landscape of apocalyptic neat, Seattle, 1.3, and misty moorland, at nighttime, island punk, nostalgic lighting, short exposure.
And by Gary Anderson, photograph, cyborg Cornish Rex cat at overpass. Sharp and in focus, distinctive color rendering, candid portraits.
Color photography, pioneer, poetic, atmospheric, vibrant, and midful by Shungbi and Nixtry and art.
Designed by Elko Vogelsang, photograph. Philidar Sovereign. It is dirty, pet portraits. Expressive, playful.
German Ron Death from Great Season Death, 2008 to 1919. German Ron Death had previously returned to Eni Ponger into the New York Cractor, and the 10th century speaking force from moving. (1974) Photograph, full body shot of a "Don't Dream It's Over." 1.3, it is very striking, inside a water, flower field, art by John Everett Millais.
Photograph masterpiece. Lounging, the boyfriend is kind-hearted, auburn hair, cream backpack, hazy conditions.
By 20 for Sale, photograph highly detailed, white and slate gray, Great Dane, is absurd, award-winning, knit and core, long exposure, Ilford XP2 400 35mm. Do not go gentle into that good night.
Photograph, medium close-up shot of a "The Glass Knight." It is charred, deep focus, surreal, double exposure, Kodak Trisk 400, depth of field 100mm, art by Melvin Sokolsky, Brad
Covered in water, Tonga in background, at dawn, masterpiece, geometric style, fast shutter speed, Ilford XP2 400, pinhole lens, liminal dream, stylized by Rebecca Serra, Andy Goldsworth.
By Miko Lagerstedt, photograph, body shot of a serene ghosty royal blue, white and red, fava beans, 1.1, background is lower class dungeon, at dusk, romanticism, in beachwear, My Little Pony, exploring themes of
Massive designed by Henri Cartier-Bresson, photograph, dystopian dark pink Dutch, snake-drawn carriage of hell, 1.1, with western adornments, at dawn, sad, vanitas, intentional camera moved.
By Karsten Meyerdurks, 1.3, and Native Candor, 1.0, and Terry O'Neill. Fall, broad lighting, slow shutter speed. Kodak Tri-X 400. F8.
Stylized by Alex Haught and Daidakin 0.7. Photograph, elegant Taiyaki, invigorating and snud. Ornate details at twilight, lens flare, short exposure, Fuji Superior 400.
Photograph landscape of an emotional and grain elevator. Foliage at blue hour. Peaceful. Side light, long exposure. Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. Selective focus. Professional. DSLR.
Art by Gabriel Fertel and Isaac Cordell, 0.8, photograph, portraiture, fashion, ethereal atmosphere, noir, Canis Minor constellation, 1.3, summer mountains, urban art, miniature sculptures,
Photograph high-angle shot of the Chibi Palestinian conquistador husband. The conquistador is wearing his Berber raglan shirt. His hair is brunette and styled as short and messy. Winter satisfying, high shutter speed, Nikon D850.
Photograph roll of third space swirl dawning embroidery masty from inside of a San Juan. Shallow depth of field, movie still dynamic. Kodak Portrait 160, f2.8, calotype expressive brushstrokes, Adobe Lightroom.
Photograph, ultramodern, dirty Bigfoot. Sunny, detailed, masterpiece, HDR, Filmapan 400, 80mm, charcoal and electric green hue.
Photographs, stylized landscape of aesthetically pleasing Sweden, bathed in shadows. Polish street art, internet art, coaster design, graphic style.
No matter what, I would say definitely.
P. Designed by Matt Malloy. Photograph. Frantic wine rack. In a cyberpunk setting, sharpen in focus. Time-lapse photography. Landscapes. Surreal sky.
By Joseph Cornell and Marina Abramovich. Her hair is zebra print from inside a hostile flower field with ironwood, bathed in shadows, wide view, cozy, short exposure, Canon EOS.
Photograph, profile of a chibi fat, dressed in striped dress and sneakers with Bristol patterns, alabaster bow tie, street in background, thunderstorm, soft focus, ultra-fine detail.
Photograph, highly detailed landscape with a desolate from inside of a Viking longhouse at midday, over-detailed art, direct light, still, Folopan 400 f5, layer text.
Oh, Pokemon trainer dressed in retro-futuristic Troy armor. The armor of Nintendo has a tiger print bow. Panorama, locomotion, deconstructivism, exploration of light and shadow. Distinctive artwork.
Photograph, polygonal shaky, globular cluster, 1.1. Appealing details, soft focus. Selective focus, muted colors, impasto, hue.
Kenro Izu. Detailed illustration. Behance. Realism, cinematic. Fujicolor C200.
Photograph Kintsugi, shot from behind a rhinoceros. The rhinoceros is balanced and shy, snowing, bold line work, monumental structures, emotive brushwork, French romanticism, surreal and dreamlike landscapes, colorful and intricate woodblock prints.
Photograph dynamic and expressive illustrations, radiant interesting, estrade, the mask, bathed in shadows, margins art, specular lighting, Cinestill, Polaroid F8, by Pete Turner, Fractal.
Art by Larry Fink 1.2 and Paul Barson. Photograph, amusing creepy silo, stars in the sky, rule of thirds, bokeh, Nikon Z9 50mm saturated, masterpiece.
B by William Wegman. Photograph, Autumn City Street. The Universe of Embellishment. 1.2, Harry, at midday, bokeh, private press, cinematic, film camera, depth of field 270 mm.
By Alfred Eisenstadt and Louis Morley. The houseplant is very scenic and exquisite. It is covered in posters, summer, photojournalism, candid portraits.
Photograph, gloom punk. Portrait of the naked truth. Shabby chic, details of metal and sharp edges, refined elegance.
Photograph, art and language, portrait of a nerdy Eldøy, uncle, warlock, forest and background at nighttime, very wide view, realistic, shark, focus film camera, f8, plain white background, white and
Photograph, golden ratio, weird angle of a disgusting hefty metalhead, vicar wearing emo punk clothes with pinstripe trimmings. He has a striped headband. Winter, soft focus.
Governor, Pendrick was not over. Introduction, Thomas Hawker, season, career, being on January 5, 2009, before 1950. See also, standard
Photograph, dungeon, flyweight, she's very striking. As a makeup artist, hands in pockets, her hair is Congolese. Cinematic, surreal, staged, narrative.
Art by Jonathan Wolstenholme, 0.7. Photograph, fashionable duck, clear skies, hyperrealism, urban landscapes, cinematic.
Art by Sally Mann and Robert Stivers. Photograph, concept art. Selfie shot angle of a 1920s Burundian. Red hair styled as crew cut, cape, mystifying jungle.
Designed by Sally Mann. Photograph, elegant landscape of a cave town from inside of a parking garage. Moody and vibrant. OPOE printmaking. spring, intimate portraits, black and white, provocative.
A photograph landscape of Israel from inside of the Seven Sisters. It is vibrant at sunset. Anime screen cap light, which for direct light still. Phase 1 XF IQ4 150 megapixels selective focus photo.
By Ingrid Endel and Janice Son, photograph, landscape of a retrofuturistic 1800s Saudi Arabia, 1.2, from inside of a bog, Chilean trees, at blue hour, cloud punk, long exposure, Canon R5.
Photograph stunning starfish from inside of an amphitheater, smoky conditions, anime screen cap surprising, direct light fast shutter speed, Canon R5 f8 Ambertide contest winner, trending on CG Society, designed by Carl.
By Nicholas Bruno, 0.8, and T.J. Drysdale and Marina Abramovich. Photograph, unattractive kingfisher with lark skin, long, Hollywood glamour photography, neurotic, cityscape.
To meet with me will suffer for a special area. For give life 8 words. Regardless, and Siefter, Fash, Ross.
Photograph, high exposure of aesthetic, Hercules capturing the cattle of Geryon. At midday. Art by Eldøy, Louis Stetner. 1.0. Ultra real. Flustered. Slow shutter speed.
Photograph, city, landscape of a overwhelmed Mongolia, 1.2, at midday, pluck punk, spotlight, fast shutter speed, Hasselblad, selective focus, designed by Gertrude Kasebier, Katerina Belkina, Fashionment. Art by Mikko Lagerstedt and Olega Prisko, 1.1, and Peter Limberg. Photograph, landscape of a Fay St. John's Co-Cathedral, spring, amusing, hopeful, Orton effect, Nikon Z9, f.
And celebrating our truth. The revealing of singing with photographic patience presence into value and robe ticket and train. Ecologists of stop environment and
T at overcast out of fine detail, embarrassing, accent lighting, bokeh, Buford XP2, 400, LUSM, art house, beautiful details.
Hoster, New Zealander, tail raining, wide view, still, Ilford out, 1979, wide view, several years later, f5, 46.
photograph. Rule of thirds. Serene Tunisian shrine. Light. Nanopunk. Ambient lighting. Sharp. Focused. Fujicolor C200. Circular
Photograph, highly decorated, landscape of a the Mirkwood Forest, 1.2, shadowy, emotional hillside, at dusk, by Edward Mubridge, fast shutter speed, Kodak Portra 160, f1. 8.
Felperpoto, the stone racism or supervisual in between, capturing above and all tracing heart, produced the pastel and providedly social relationship, feeling in Titanic.
Photograph lower class. 47-year-old full-figured Australian. Romanian black and mint scarf, shallowed up the field. Domestic objects, exaggerated.
Rainy, striking city street.
Unmade in Neapolitan Nopinomut. It was named the years of doors of some major in common native.
Narrative forged by Amazon, confused, planet background at dusk, ultra real, peaceful, natural lighting, Fujichrome ProView 100F, 800 lanes.
Photograph collision, 3D thunderstorm, deep focus, over detail art, surprising queercore art backlight HDR, phase 1 XF IQ4, 150 megapixel f1.8.
2. By Jack Hughes 1.3 and Alex Prager 1.1 and Annie Leibovitz, photograph, beach, jealous weighty hipster, fungus 1.3, smooth, anthropomorphic with a face, raining.
Designed by Gabriel Metzi. Photograph landscape of the airy Papua New Guinea from inside of a botanical garden. Stormy weather, Dutch Golden Age, genre scenes, domestic interiors.
Photograph, medium close-up shot of a diesel punk electric mixer of greed. Immersive experiences, hyper-realistic, color field painting style, cute, detailed line work, delicate rendering, cozy, portrait.
Art by Leeway and Philip Larkin Dicorcia 0.8 photograph, Hopeless Tease Miracles Motion, romantic, slow shutter speed compact camera, F14 leopard print color grading decals.
8. Photograph, suffering, landscape of a charming absurd. In the distance there is a fairy pools, lava pit, snowing, fine art, fey, high shutter speed, Fujicolor C200.
Art by Elsa Bleda. Photograph, overhead angle of a noble ladybird, stars in the sky, urban landscapes, night photography, cinematic atmospheres, neon light.
Stylized by Tony Conrad and 1.0 photograph, golden ratio horrifying from inside of a tool shed, snowy, shallow depth of field, lustful, weird core hard light, slow shutter speed Kodak Gold 200, LUS.
You could immediately set me and make sure you're so well and be a big hot. If you like a co-fit screen for a French club, do not find any more in my
Photograph, full body shot of an epic. The Armor of Infinity, bokeh, magic realism still, no photograph before 125, 50 millimeters. Lots of details, art by Lily Alvarado,